Welcome back, guys. So I have cooked again a new list. I did play it yesterday at my locals and I got second place with it, and I cooked quite literally, so it is another delicious deck and I'm quite happy to show you the list. So let's just get right into it. So here of course we have the 3 cupsies, double lolly, double cookie, and I don't have it yet, but it is the 3 marshmallow, the new one from the latest set. I cut these down to 2 copies each because we got the new one, but it is just really favorable to start with the yummies because they can bridge very easily into the other engine, which is a ritual engine. So if you can bridge with yummy into something like Mitsurugi, you can also bridge into other strategies, I thought. And one of my favorite strategies includes the Diviner, which also is a bridge into the yummy. And then it is the Nouvelle deck, the burger deck. So this is another funny name. It is Yummy Burger, or in German Lecker Burger. We played 2 of the level 1. I am thinking about cutting one of the Herald and adding in another one of these. We got the 1 Chef. This is from the newest wave of support the deck has gotten. This card is just insane. In the pendulum scale you can activate it in the main phase and add a Nouvelles card, so you can either add the monsters or the field spell, and with the field spell you can add the ritual spell, so this can search for any piece that you are missing. And this card is highly searchable through the new Angry Burger that you will see in a second. For the ritual monsters, I just play the 1 level 1, 1 level 2, double level 3. This is by far the best one of the low level ritual monsters because this can go directly into the level 5. And also it doesn't require to be targeted itself like these 2. So most of the time when this is on the field you have a really great spot. Then 1 level 4. This card makes it possible to go into a second Herald because this one on summon can shuffle 3 cards from either graveyard into the deck. So what you can do is you can set up a Herald with a the zombie cat synchro that you play, and if you summon this one after you have used the Herald, you can just shuffle it back and then synchro summon again into a second one. That's really great. Then the level 5, this one is also busted. It searches on summon for any Nouvelle or recipe card, and if it gets summoned by any other Nouvelle monster, it has a quick effect to tribute a monster of the opponent to summon the level 6, and this one just negates the whole field of the opponent and also tributes away all their monsters. Also this one has the quick effect to summon a Hungry Burger, and this one is treated as Hungry Burger all the time. Also this one is not a brick like the old version, the original Hungry Burger. If you draw the Angry Burger, you can just reveal it in the hand, add 1 Nouvelle monster and shuffle this one back. So if you get the burger, you can add the chef or the level 1 as a starter. What is really cool is that the level 5 just requires to be summoned by a Nouvelle's monster effect to have its effect as a quick effect. So this means if you manage to use the effect of Chef in the opponent's turn to quick ritual summon, let's say, this also gets the added bonus of being a quick effect. I don't want to explain the effects in detail. If you want, you can just read them Yeah, but this engine, it is a bit bricky because all the normal ritual monsters don't do anything fancy, but if it gets started, you almost cannot stop it. And then as a honorable mention, there is the one Ritual Raven. This one fits quite nicely into this deck because it is a level 1 ritual, so this one can be added by the Diviner through the Herald or through the Poissonnière. And this way, if you summon either one of these to add the Raven and then summon the Raven out, you can get another level 1 body back with those, and this is full yummy combo. And so you can bridge these engines in one to another, which I think is almost better than the Mitsurugi deck, because you can bridge with Yummy into Mitsurugi, but not vice versa. With this deck you can go both ways, so that is what I really liked about it. But I gotta say, it is really complicated to play. The best part is your opponent doesn't know what you are doing. The bad part about this is you also don't know most of the time. So you really need to be a skilled player to pilot this deck effectively. But there are some easy ways to combo, some, let's say, one-card combos. Some one-card combos, especially when you are starting with the Yummies. But still, the way you are interacting with the opponent is always quite hard. Which I think is always the case with the Yummy deck. Then for the hand traps, it is 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Fubalos, 3 Effect Veiler. I really like the Effect Veiler here because the Nouvelle cards do draw in the end phase and also in the opponent's turn. So the Effect Veiler is a great tool to negate monster effects, and it is in this deck specifically better than Imperm, because Imperm in the hand while you control monsters is just dead, but the Veiler is still alive. And also the great thing about Veiler is it targets monsters, so you can trigger your own Nouvelle monsters from this. And then I play the triple Ghost Bell because it is just a phenomenal hand trap in this format, and I just wanted something to make my and I just wanted something to go second into Draco Tail specifically, but also into Yummy, or even against K9, against the Reborn from the Lupus. It is a great tool. Then for the spells, only one surprise, you don't need 2 anymore because of the new Marshmallow. Then 1 minion and 1 Akroki. The Nouvelle engine also plays field spells, but you don't need them in the opponent's turn, so you want to end on the Nouvelle field spell because this draws a card in the end phase, but then as soon as the turn goes to the opponent, you just set the Akroki, and then you have another interruption. Then for the Nouvelle cards, I do play 2 of the fish recipe because I think it is the better one. In theory, both of them are it is interchangeable. You can also play 2 of the meat recipe. The upside of playing 2 meat recipe is if you draw 1 and you use the fish recipe to summon the level 1, you can just add a second one of them. The upside with 2 of them is if you draw 1 of them and you draw pre-prep, you can still search the second one and the monster. So if you play only 1 fish recipe and you have this plus pre-prep, it is basically dead and you can only add the other one. but either way, 3 is, I think, correct. In which, but it doesn't matter in which way you play the numbers. Then 2 of the field spells. This field spell is absolutely crazy. On activation, it adds a recipe card from your deck or graveyard to the hand. Then it has a soft once per turn effect. You can activate it in the main phase, then place for cost a ritual monster under your deck to draw a card, and then in the end phase you can target 1 recipe card and 1 other card in your graveyard, put them under the deck, and again draw a card. But you can only activate 1 of these per turn. Then 2 of the menu. This essentially is another pre-prep. So you show your opponent 2 nouvelle monsters and they decide what menu they will get or you will get. So they basically order, and the one they choose you get to the hand, the other one gets shuffled back into the deck, and depending on what type the monster was, either a warrior or beast warrior or none of both, you maybe get one of the ritual spells to your hand. Then 1 nouvelle recipe. This is just crazy. If you have this on your field, it basically puts all opponent's monsters in attack position, so you can just tribute them with your nouvelle monster effects. Also, if you summon a ritual monster, you can target 1 of them and then add a recipe or nouvelle card from your deck and increase the level of the monster by 1. But the important part is that you target a monster, so you can on summon trigger your nouvelle monsters, which is just crazy, and you can just splash this in mid combo and extend further and then have this on your end board. Then the best 1 card starter, or let's say it is part of a 2 card combo to be honest, is the Culinary Confrontation. So you can special summon a patties and nouvelle pendulum monster, 1 to your side, 1 to the opponent's side of the field, and usually you just summon the level 1 pendulum to your side, which is this one, and this on summon adds a level 1 ritual, any level 1 ritual. It could also be this one, or a recipe spell, so you get already 1/2 of your combo, and then you are locked for the rest of your turn. You can only use nouvelle or patissier monsters for a extra deck summon, but this is usually fine. If you have any other engine card, it is always full combo for the nouvelle part. If you have yummy cards in your hand, you can just use this as your last extension piece, because this just locks for the rest of the turn. If you don't have yummy and just have this, you still get the full nouvelle combo, which is still really strong and hard to break. Because you have the chef recipe, which is basically an omni-negate as long as you control a nouvelle ritual monster. And also, if this is in the graveyard and you special summon the Hungry Burger, or also the Angry Burger, which is treated as Hungry Burger, you can banish this from the graveyard to tribute all monsters your opponent control. And also the field spell just lets you recycle this one from the graveyard, so you essentially have each turn 1 omni-negate plus the herald that you usually also set up with it, and with the level 4 ritual monster essentially you can get 2 heralds and 1 of this, which basically is 3 omni-negates. Plus your other interruptions from Yummy and or the nouvelle. Then I do have as just generic non-engine, 1 talents, 1 called by. The talents in the main deck is because I have cited the thrust, but I decided not to main deck them. Then for engine starters, there are 3 pre-prep and also 3 of the original prep. And these are just amazing. I think you know the pre-prep. The original prep just says add 1 ritual monster up to level 6 from your deck. And optionally you can also add a ritual spell from the graveyard back to your hand. And what this can do is you can just add the envy burger directly from your deck. And so you have, like with this one, adding a monster, adding this one, shuffling back, you are getting this one, you scale this, activate its effect, then you can add another ritual monster, or you can add the field spell, and the field spell adds a ritual spell. So even though this only adds a monster from the deck, you can get to the spell if you miss one of them. But the great thing about this is it is not once per turn, you can use multiple of them. And also with the what I did a lot of times actually is that I used something like pre-prep or any other card to search for a ritual spell to the hand. Then going through the Yummy combo, I am adding with the Cups the Yummy Way 2 monsters and discarding the spell, and then later I just add back the spell with a monster from the deck. So you just keep your resources, you get an additional body because you don't have to discard one of the monsters that you have searched, and it is essentially just free. So yeah, that was the main deck. It is 60 cards. I think it is necessary. I wanted to cut it down. I tried to go down to about 46 cards. This is the lowest I could manage, but then on the other hand, there are just so many one-offs. There are no really bricks, but with the 60 card deck you just have a lot more variety, and I think it is just way more cohesive this way. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Then for the extra deck there are 2 snatchies. It is only 2 because I only own 2, but because we are playing a secondary engine, it is not needed to play 3 of them, even if you start with the Yummy. I just think you can let the second one on the board, this one is in the grave, and then go to an anima to synchro summon with this one, and then you still need only 2 of them without having to go into a third one. To round out the Yummies, there are 1 of each synchro. Then the zombie cat, this is a level 3 tuner, and it essentially says if it is in the graveyard you can target 1 other synchro monster, shuffle this synchro monster back that you have targeted, and summon this one back to the field. In the opponent's turn quick effect you can synchro summon with this, I believe. And then what else? Yeah, if you resummon it from the graveyard it gets banished the next time it leaves the field. This one is the card that allows us to summon the Herald. So you go with a level 2 synchro plus a level 1 Yummy into this, and then into the Herald. If you don't have any ritual access, you can link this one away, and then revive this one, shuffle the Herald back into the extra deck, and then you can just summon this one again. So you need a lot of bodies for this, but you still end on the Herald, and you can access your ritual engine this way, or like I said, if you don't need to access your ritual engine via the Herald, you can just leave this on your end board and maybe recycle the Herald and then summon a second one on the opponent's turn with this. So yeah, a small package, but it just recycles itself very effectively. Then to bridge into one another, we have the one anima, the one Almirage. This also has a second purpose. You can leave it on the field if you get like interrupted or something with any nouvelle monster, and then in the opponent's turn you can activate the effect Tribute, target your monster so that it cannot be destroyed, and by targeting it you can trigger its effect and tribute monsters from your opponent. Then the IP, mainly used to link away the Herald from the board, but you don't only have the SP to go into, you also have the Dynamondo, and this card is just crazy. On summon you shuffle a card away from your opponent, and then you can tribute it to resummon any ritual from your graveyard. If you have properly summoned it before, otherwise you can just add it back to your hand. But this way, if you summon any of the nouvelle rituals, they all trigger on special summon, so you can get the on summon trigger. And also if you have the recipe, if you have this one on the field and you resummon with the Dynamondo, let's say just this, you can trigger channeling 1 to search, channeling 2 target to search, and then because this is targeted, channeling 3 to summon one of the bigger ones from the deck and tribute a monster from your opponent. So this alone is just multiple interruptions if you have the right setup. And then as, let's say, engine requirements, there are 2 of the patties pendulum. This one you need to play because, or if you decide to go for this one, because this is the one you summon to the opponent's field in attack position, which also provides you with a body that you can tribute away for your effects. You don't need to play 2 of them, 1 is usually enough. I just had space and threw in the second one if it ever comes up. Normally if you resolve one of them, the game is already way more in your favor. So you, yeah, I don't think there was any point where I had to rely on the second one, or that we even played the game until a second one was necessary. Then lastly I got 1 Entis. This is just to out opponent's heralds. So the monsters, this is just an alternative monster that you can send with the herald. If you normal summon this and send the Entis, you just target the opponent's herald, and then you have basically a free field. You also don't need to play this. Like I said, I'm thinking about cutting the herald to 2, or even cut it entirely, because it is a good starter, but it is kind of a liability. Or if I leave it in, maybe adding a Trias Hierarchia or something, but this would mean adding another Garnet that you don't want to draw. So I'm not sure how I want to tackle this, or change it rather. But yeah, so it was a bit rushed. I just wanted to get this idea out of my head and show it to you. I think it is a very cool, very fun deck. Like I said, you really need to practice this to pilot it effectively. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, maybe subscribe. I promise there will be more updates in the future. I did cook a lot in the last 1 or 2 weeks, and this is the first deck that I feel is finished so far and that I can present to you. So yeah, have a great day, and until next time, bye bye.